Hello and welcome into the Selah room again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your like and subscribe and sharing this video. Today in the Selah room, we are talking date time, commitment, and prayer.
Everyone. Come on into the Selah room. I have my husband Kenny again here today. I'm so thankful that he's able to join me because you guys obviously really liked the video that we did together as a couple, as a married couple. So we're here just to do another one and maybe engage some conversation, give you some of our insight, give you some of our ups and downs, or even advice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first thing I want to talk about today is our date time. Date time. How important is date time? Before you answer, today, my husband had an appointment. I went with him to his appointment, got up early, got excited, got dressed, showered, dressed, put my lip gloss on because I'm going out with my man. But after that, we took a date time before we came home. We went to Walmart shopping, but it was a date time for us because it was just the two of us. We're able to walk around, laugh, shop, look at people, laugh at each other, discuss things, and just simply be together. And for me, that's so important, just spending that time. He didn't have to take me to the Cheesecake Factory, but I'm hoping that, we will be going soon because I like cheesecake. But it was just the point about spending time together that I really appreciate. What about you? What do you feel about date time and the importance of just spending time together as husband and wife?
Very important. You got to make time. Relationship, man, is like a job. You got to work at it. So spending time is paramount. And I mean, hopefully you with somebody that you love or you at least like. You like spending time with them because if you don't, it could be a task. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just speaking from observation. So yeah, it's very important. And my wife and I used to do this all the time, even like in the earlier stages of our marriage.
Yeah, when we first got married.
We used to date all the time.
And we used to stay up late. We used to go out to Denny's. Both of us work second shift then. So we get off of work. We'd go to Denny's at like 1 a.m. or he'd be up and frying me chicken and making me mashed potatoes at 1 o'clock in the morning. Good Lord.
1 in the morning. The 4-course meal.
That was pre-children.
Yeah.
But that time together was so important to us, and that brought us together. And like I said in the last video, that just being together, but laughter is what seals me together with him. Because no matter how upset I am, he can still make me laugh. And laughter is the best medicine in the world. It's healing, and it brings us together.
Yeah, always.
The next thing I wanted to talk about for just a minute is commitment to marriage, right?
Yeah.
Commitment to marriage. When you took that vow before God and you took that vow before all of the people, not for the people. And I think that's where sometimes people get it mixed up. They have a big wedding and it's beautiful. We had a big wedding, but really at the end of the day, I thank my mom and my dad for, allowing us to have that big, beautiful wedding. But at the end of the day, I was exhausted. We were exhausted, literally, because it was so much work planning. It was so much work for everything to come together. But the wedding is for the people, but the marriage is for you and me, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we entered into, a covenant, and we made a commitment to stay together no matter what. And we've had some ups and we've had some downs and we've had some roller coaster rides like everybody else in marriage, but God, right?
Yeah.
And God, he gives us the strength. He enables us to keep that commitment together. And I'm grateful. I am committed to my marriage and have been. We've been married for 20 years this year. We're on our 20th year. It feels like yesterday, but we made it to 20. And that to me is huge. Yes, there were times when I felt like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Yes, there were times when, listen now, this road is getting a little rocky. What we gonna do here? But God and that commitment, and the commitment not just to God, my commitment to my husband, and then because we had children, my commitment to my children and myself as a woman, that I committed to this marriage, and I wanted to make it work. And marriages work, but once you have that commitment set in stone with each other, you can get through anything as long as God is in the center. What do you have to say briefly about commitment? Because I know we talk about this a lot.
Well, without commitment, I mean, commitment and trust go hand in hand, like bologna and cheese, or a tire and a rim. You got to go through something. I mean, you show me a perfect marriage and I'll show you something wrong. Because the ups and downs that you go through in a marriage, man, it's kind of like you filling things out. You can live with somebody for 20 years, but until you actually solidify the marriage in terms of going through things together, you don't really know who you with. Sometimes you can be married to somebody for 10, 20, 15, whatever years and not know them.
Yeah.
And not know them. My
That's
wife
true.
knows who I am. I mean, I'm as transparent as they come.
That's true. And to add to that, because we've been married for 20 years, we've both had life changes, right? And we've both evolved as people. In my personal life, I've grown as a person. In his personal life, he's grown as a person. So I feel like now at Mark 20, we are discovering each other anew again. Because of the circumstances that we've been through, because of God evolving both of us, we're still evolving and still getting to know new things about each other. And that is really good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, prayer. How important is prayer in a marriage? I brought this book up, and I was in tears when I picked it up because we had a fire. I lost all my wedding pictures, and I found a picture of Kenny and I on May 20th, 1999, and it brought me to tears right before this video. But this book, The Power of a Praying Woman, by Stormy O. Martin, she also has The Power of a Praying Husband, The Power of a Praying Mother, The Power of a Praying Everything. This woman has it, but this book was like next to my Bible all the time. And there were certain prayers that I prayed, not just for him, but for myself as a woman. And I've seen myself grow and evolve. So prayer for me is essential in our marriage, that I continue to pray for my husband, myself, and continue to cover our family. Because, the enemy is not happy when you make it to a certain point, or when you get over certain hurdles, and, you get to certain heights in your marriage. The enemy is not happy with that. He wants to always try to throw salt in the game, but he doesn't know we're the salt of the earth, right?
Yep.
So we're going to keep shining. We're going to keep doing what God has called us to do. We're going to keep loving each other. We're going to keep being committed to each other. But prayer is the key to everything, right?
Yep. And
we've seen times in our marriage, what has happened when we both shut down and not prayed?
Chaos.
And we'll be honest and say there's been times in our marriage and life, just like probably in your times, when you didn't want to pray or you couldn't pray because of whatever situations were going on. Chaos ensued, right? But then if you only have people around you that are, say we're married, right? So we need other married couples around us to bounce things off of. We want to be that couple to other couples too, that we can give advice, that we can say, hey, we've been through this, so we can help you. If you only have people around you who are adding fuel to the fire and not believing God and taking you down, then that doesn't edify the marriage either, right?
Correct.
So prayer and praying together, praying over each other, and just continuing to trust God for everything. Do you have anything else to say about prayer?
Prayer. What can I say about prayer?
It's important in marriage.
I was raised with the notion and the idea and the confirmation from my mom that without prayer, you can't do anything. Um, you know, hitting them knees every night and praying to God. And my mom said, just talk to him like you're talking to me. She said, God hears and sees everything. I mean, it's just like from blessing your food. People take for granted. You just buy something or you make something or somebody makes something for you and you eat it without giving thanks to the Lord. You don't know if that food is purified or you don't know what's going on. So it's best to pray over it, ask God to bless it, so if you consume something that ain't good for you, it won't be no harm to you. And I firmly believe that, guess what, prayer without works without faith is dead. But you got to pray. In order to pray, you have to believe. And if you believe, that's how you move God. Right. Through faith.
Through faith, because faith without works is dead. And in order to pray and have a foundation set in stone in your marriage, you really have to make prayer, make God the foundation, and then build your marriage upon it. Grow your kids up in it. Grow yourselves together. Grow your goals. Grow your life together. I really feel like when people are married, God brings that couple together, right? Not just for the sake of the people, it's for the sake of ministry. It's for the sake of how our marriage can be a light, how you can be a light, how you can be a blessing to someone else. And throughout our marriage, there's been times that we've been able to do that, and I want to continue to be able to be a light and help other people grow. Thank you for coming again to the Selah Room, Kenneth.
Thanks for having me. And let me just say one thing before we close. Your life is a ministry. Your life is a testimony.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times we don't live our best lives because we get caught up in this and that. And I mean, I've been so far from perfect, I can't spell it. But you know what? A lot of times we can count and consider ourselves unworthy, but God says you are.
Yes.
And if God says you're worthy, then you have to embrace that, and you have to love yourself. Because you can't profess to love the Lord or love anybody else and hate yourself. It just don't work that way.
That's right.
It just don't work that way. You have to have love. You have to have a foundation, a base of love built within God. God created us in his own image, so he's already in you. You have to embrace that God that's within you and listen. And he'll steer you strong and never wrong.
That's right.
So, we just got to keep going. We got to keep going, man. We got to keep praying and got to keep believing.
And keep trusting and hoping in God. And trusting and hoping and believing in each other. God is good. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us in the Selah Room. It is our good pleasure to be here with you today, and we thank God for you. Thank you for allowing us to just share with you and speak into your spirits, and we pray all of God's highest and best for you and your families. See you next time. Until then, God bless you. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of yours. And we'll see you next time in the Selah Room.
Keep your head up.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us in the Selah Room today. We appreciate all our viewers and listeners. Until next time, take care of yourself and yours. God bless.